Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for welcoming. Jeez Louise. Thank you so much. We want to welcome you to the newest edition of Sadie and Sean Have No Friends. Already on the struggle bus today, Sean. How are you? Do you want to thank our show sponsor today?
Yeah, Christiana Salon. They're great people. They do your hair and they do your nails. They'll massage your back. They'll massage your shoulders and maybe even your feet.
Ooh, Sean, that was a really good endorsement. And where can they be found?
Oh, yeah, in Johnstown by Shields. Go see them.
I cannot believe sometimes you're on the radio. It just makes me laugh.
When I'm on the radio, they give me scripts. They tell me this is what you should say. These are the things that they're good at. Like I have something in front of me. And I do it every day, so I get good at it.
Yeah, that's true.
You do this every day. I have nothing to go off of. And yeah.
I think you did a really fine job.
From memory and from my heart. And the heart is a much better place than just
the memory. Okay.
Shit.
Cool. Okay. So let's move on from that and just say that if you stop in there and say Sadie and Sean Have No Friends, mention the podcast, they're going to give you 10% off. Thank you so much to this locally owned business taking care of our little local show, Sean.
It's pretty nice of them. That's pretty cool. All right. I have something to talk about.
Okay.
I've watched a grand total of 0 minutes of the Olympics this year, which I'm not necessarily proud of. Like, I feel like some people have tried to turn the Olympics into like some sort of political statement, which I think is really, really stupid, no matter which end of the spectrum you're on. It's just the Olympics. But that being said, now that I have that out there, that's not why. I just have been really busy this summer, and so I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch it. So every once in a while, I'll jump online and just kind of like get caught up on what's happening. Like, is there any big news stories? And the big news story that I saw from this last weekend was one from our little hearts. Like we should have wrote this story, quite frankly. It's about a French pole vaulter. Did you hear about him?
Yeah, the guy with the balls.
Yeah, so his name is Anthony Midirati, and he went viral for knocking the bar over with his crotch. Like pole vaulting, in case you don't know, is where you take the pole, you run, and you put it in the ground, and it puts you up over, and you got to get over the bar. And the bar gets higher and higher and higher until the last person.
So it's much harder to like squeeze over it, and this guy's junk bumped it and it knocked the bar over, and his country lost getting that gold medal because of it.
No, but then I saw that's not true. That's not true.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's being reported that the guy failed to medal because of his wiener, but that's not the case. It says, if you watch closely, his legs hit the bar first, so it's a failed vault before Willie even gets in on the act. Also, that was only one of his 3 attempts. You get 3 attempts at each level. And this level was the 5.70 meters to make it to the final. He missed all 3. The other 2 times, his wiener didn't even come close.
Oh, okay. Look at that. I feel like some fake news was just explained to me in the correct way. Like, okay. So did he end up getting a medal at all?
No, because you get 3 tries, and he didn't do it on any of his 3 tries.
Why did you just pause for like an insane amount of time?
I didn't pause. No, I only said it when I was talking, and I was explaining that wiener guy hit the thing once, but with his wiener, but the other times he hit it with his full body.
Oh, so he wasn't going to win anyway.
No, he wasn't going to win anyway. So this is probably the best thing that could have happened for him. It's like Hawk to a girl. Like, it sounds like he has no other talents and he actually sucks at pole vaulting, but now everyone, including us, is talking about him because he hit the bar with his weenie. And so if he would have just hit it with his head or his butt every time,
we would have never known about what's his name.
Oh, let me try one more time.
And you know what makes me
French? Anthony Ammirati.
What is it?
Anthony Ammirati.
Okay, Anthony Ammirati will forever now be known in this. Anthony will know that every conversation he's probably going to have for the rest of his life in the back of the person's mind, they're going to be like, it's wiener vault guy. It's the guy whose wiener knocked over the vault. And I know how insanely childish that is, but I believe it to be true because there are, as adults, where I'm like, I remember this girl right here who's in her 40s now when we were in high school, she got drunk at a party and she took a dump in someone's plant, like their family's potted
Yeah.
plant. And forever, I don't care how good of a career you have now, you will ever be girl that pooped in a potted plant at a party in high school. And so
That's
this
true.
guy is forever going to be, wiener tap guy.
I must be honest. I'd much rather be known for having a big Johnson that knocked over the pole vaulting thing than pooping in a plant at a friend's party. So good for French wiener full pole vault guy, because I mean,
Yeah, but
there's
I
probably
saw
some ladies that will
pictures.
seek him out as a result.
I saw pictures of him and it didn't look like it was like, didn't look like that was that exciting. I think it was just so high up that I think even a little pee would have knocked that thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's ridiculous that it's not because he has a big Johnson. But I guess, you know what? He could tell the story in bars in the future, and who the hell's going to know? They could be like, listen, I jumped over and my giant wang knocked it over. I mean, they're not going to look back at the footage and be like, no, it didn't.
And drunk poop potted girl is going to be like, let me see that thing. And then he can has an
They're going to
excuse to
fall in
show his
love.
wiener. Yeah. And so he shows it to the drunk girl. They fall in love, or they at least pretend they're in love for the night, and all is good in the world. So
Wonderful.
good for wiener guy. That's good. But that's the second fake news story that I've seen go viral. And that one's not necessarily fake. Like, it's just misconstrued a little bit. So we've set the record straight. But the other one is completely fake. The one that I've seen shared many more times because it's closer to home. So there's this story on a satire Facebook page. Satire, for you folks that don't know, means fake. Like, they just make up stories like The Onion. And it was about a semi truck that wrecked on I-25 in Casper, Wyoming, which is like 3 hours from where you live.
Oh, yes,
And
I
it
did
spilled
hear
out a
this.
bunch of deadly king cobras, and they were just like slithering around I-25. And
you
they
know what's
couldn't find
funny
them all
is
and stuff. And people were sharing it like it was real.
we were sharing it because that day I saw it again and again, and I just thought, well, shit, now there's snakes all over there. That sucks. Until you just very now in this moment said that was a fake story. I actually still am like, oh man, that sucks. Hope they got all those snakes. But people were freaking out about it.
They were freaking out about it. I mean, it just goes
How
to
does
show
something
you.
like that even start?
Well, I understand how people could believe it. I mean, it's a believable story.
Sure.
A semi truck spilled. It just like semi trucks spill all the time, and they spill out lettuce or tomatoes all over the highway. Why not?
But why would
Somebody's
you be
got to carry the
transporting
snakes.
king cobras?
I don't know. They got to be. I don't think king cobras are native to everywhere, and so anywhere that has a king cobra that they're not native, it had to be transported there at some point. So
you're saying this is a lie that works for every occasion. You could use this.
I mean, I guess I don't know what you get out of it other than you get a whole bunch of people sharing your fake news story on Facebook. But that's what this website does. It's like The Onion. What do they get out of sharing fake news either? But it shows how susceptible we are as a society to anything that's shared on social media. People will believe it. They will believe it. And it kind of goes back to the politic thing. And I've got to be honest, like, I can't hardly stand being on, especially Facebook, but all social media, because there's so much news out there and everything. Like the Olympics, for instance, it all gets politicized, and people share it because somebody shared it on Facebook. It's got to be true. And so it doesn't align with my party's beliefs. So I got to knock it. And then you go and read about it. And sure enough, it's not even real. Like, you're getting so passionate about something that's not even real.
But I will tell you that I did watch the opening of the Olympics, the opening games. I'm an Olympic nerd, but I watched the opening games, and I guess I watched it and I thought it was odd and weird, and it was weird. It was weird as shit. But at the end, it didn't stir any emotion inside of me. I have so many people that I know and that I've read about who are like completely outraged because there were a bunch of like these hidden things that I guess I'm too stupid to pick up on. But there was like, supposedly it was the Last Supper, and they got and they were recreating the Last Supper, but they were, I guess, like,
there was drag queens and
stuff, and people lost their freaking mind over that. And you know what?
I don't want to say
whatever.
I don't want to comment on it because I'm not educated on it enough, but I have read that they were trying to recreate a Greek, because the Olympics started in Greece. They were trying to recreate a Greek painting, and the painting is similar to the Last Supper. So the Olympic Committee has actually come out and they've said, hey, we're sorry, we didn't mean to offend anybody. This wasn't based on the Last Supper at all. It had nothing to do with the Bible or with Jesus or with anything like that. It was based on a Greek painting, and whether or not that's backpedaling or whatever, but like that kind of stuff, if you let it get under your skin and you let it eat at you, I
Right.
just feel like you're going to be mad all the time. And I'm a religious guy. We've talked about this before. I don't want anybody mocking God or Jesus, and so I'm not for it either, but I also can't stop it. And so I'm just going to, maybe this is the wrong way to live my life, but I kind of turn my eye to it. I'm not
But
going to
don't
pay
you think the
attention to
best
it.
thing that you can really do, that everyone can do, because you look at the big issue, whatever you think that issue might be, whatever side you land on, and you think I'm too small to make a difference, but couldn't the difference be made in the fact that you tell your children, like, oh, maybe not a good look on that, huh, guys? And you communicate that. I know just so many people. I know a lot of people who are completely dead set against the media and all that kind of stuff. We don't have to get into that. I don't want to get
Yeah,
into that.
probably. You're probably right. That's a good way. Like teach your children what's right and what's not right. But going on Facebook and being a Karen and
Yeah,
sharing,
like that's not going to do anything.
it's really not. It's just going to make us more divisive, I think. And we live in a really divisive place right now. And social media, and like I said, especially Facebook of all of them, is the worst of the worst. And it's hard, especially coming into an election year and just a few months away from an election. It's no matter what side you're on, it's just like, I just don't believe, and I'll leave you at this. I don't believe that you posting shit on Facebook and putting it out there is going to change anybody's mind. I don't think that you're accomplishing anything with it, and it just makes it a toxic place.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. And I also think that's the most no shit statement that's ever been said on this show, because no one ever, I think, goes on and thinks they're going to change a mind. I think those are 90% people who just love to stir the pot. They just love that. You know what I mean? I think very few people actually go on and post something actually thinking they're going to change people's mind.
I don't know them. Why stir the pot? Do people like it when we
Oh
fight all
my
the time? Do
God.
people they
Yes.
get joy out of that?
It's
They're
true. Yeah.
that
You know what? And
that's sad to me.
oh, I hate to say this, but if I'm being honest, I have seen people get in fights on social media, and I follow every goddamn comment that comes through. I'm like, I don't even know these people, and they just they're fighting all of a sudden, and I stumble upon this fight on Facebook. This has happened multiple times, and oh shoot, I pressed on my phone. I get like disgustingly sick joy in laughing at that kind of stuff.
I'll be honest, I like watching people fight on Facebook too when it's about anything other than politics.
Yeah,
I don't get any I don't get any joy out of people fighting about who they're voting for and why they're voting for them. And I am all for it. Like I think that it's one of the great reasons that we live in America, right? Because we get the choice and we get to be outspoken about our opinion and you get to do all of those things. I just don't, like I said, I just don't think you're gaining anything, especially when it's so like hateful and divisive.
yeah, I definitely agree. Sean, you and I hope the people listening will know that this is a safe place that you can come, and this is a terribly unsafe place, but I actually left my home and I went to a movie, and guess what movie I saw? It's a
It
movie I never thought I what?
seems to be the only reason you leave your home. I actually got a message from somebody last week that was like, "Hey, you and Sadie talk about going to the movie theater a lot," in all caps, a lot.
Oh shit.
So I
Well,
got this message yesterday. So I'm happy that you brought this up because
I went to
here
the
we go.
movies last night.
Here we go.
I will say I do like going to the movies under certain situations, like circumstances, because I feel there's this guilt, and I think moms always have guilt over stupid shit constantly. And I have guilt where I have two older children who are now, like Sophie. I've talked about her before. She's moved out, she's in college, and then Cooper's finishing high school. And then we started again, which I mean, I just, what the fuck, right? But we started again, and I feel like we're in such a time with her where everything has you have to focus so much on this child at this age. You know what I mean? It is meeting the teachers, meeting parents, it's play dates, birthday parties, homework, reading. It's so everything, to where when they get a little bit older, you know, it's different things that they need you for. Like, they don't need you to read to them. They need money. How can I have some money for gas? It's that kind of thing. But I always feel like I'm constantly doing stuff for the littler one. And so we decided we're going to go every month. We're going to go do a movie, and just the three of us older ones. And we're going to leave right at home with Murphy. And we went last night to see Twisters.
Did you take Murphy?
No, and I'm glad. No, because it's just the older two and myself, and we got to go to an adult movie and, you know, and enjoy each other. But no, I didn't take her, and holy shit, I'm glad I didn't. You know, we actually did over the weekend turn on the original Twister movie, and she did good. She sat through it. There were a couple moments where I'm like, uh-oh, we're losing her here. But she watched the whole movie and she seemed fine. She didn't have any nightmares. So I thought, okay, maybe. So I thought we were going to the new Deadpool movie. And then last minute, Sophie was like, can we please go see Twisters? Because I think that cowboy in the movie, he's on a Top Gun Maverick. She thinks he's gorgeous. I bet that's why this movie will do so well. Glenn Powell is the guy's name. Anyway, so we went and saw that, and I got to tell you, it was good, but there were so many people there, which was shocking. There were so many people there, and we were in a row. And for the first time, and I would say like in a stupid amount of time, I actually had to sit next to somebody that I didn't know.
Yeah, we did that the last time we went too, where I was like, man, I can't believe it. The last 5 times before that, we were the only people in the theater. And then all of a sudden, bam, there's a million people, and we had to sit next to somebody.
It was so bizarre. And so I sat next to this guy, and I was thinking about how I was going to phrase this while we were watching the movie, because I'm like, I gotta talk about this, but I don't know if like I have sensitivity to smell, but this guy didn't smell bad. I'm gonna say he didn't smell bad, but you know, like when somebody eats a lot of garlic and then there's their pores, it was a lot of that. It was, and I thought, oh, I don't feel good now. Oh, this guy, he's just sweating. What's he eating? He shouldn't be eating that much garlic. Do I say something to him? I mean, it completely took away from the movie, which now leads me to want to just stay home and watch movies at home instead of going out. But I will tell you, Sean, I thought of you because I think you will really, really like this movie. I would say do not take Boone to it. Do not, I repeat.
That's why I haven't seen it yet, because I did have a moment this weekend where we thought about going, because the older two kids in our lives want to go really bad too. And we didn't have anybody to watch Boone, so we decided not to. And I've told you before about this, but I have this underground TV thing where I get like everything that's ever been invented. And sometimes every once in a while, they'll like sneak in movies that are still in the movie theater on it. So last night we decided, because of Twisters, we're like, we haven't been on this thing for a while, but we'll go see if Twisters is on there. And it's like the only movie that's in theaters right now that's not on there. But the new Kevin Costner movie that's getting all the bad reviews is on there. We didn't decide to do this until like 7 o'clock last night, and that movie's 3 hours long, and we didn't want to be up that late, so we didn't watch it. And then the new Deadpool movie's on there, and I'm not a superhero guy. But I did like the first Deadpool, and so I decided Shannon and I were just going to watch it. And she's like, you know what? I think Quentin would like this movie. I know that it's rated R, but he's getting close to 14. Like, invite him up.
Hard.
He can watch it with us. And so he comes up, and then the other two follow. And so we're like, we know Boone can't watch this movie, but Shannon didn't want to kick him out of the room. So she was like, here, put him on his tablet. We got him all set up in the corner, but he kept pulling his tablet down and he was watching. So he watched a lot of the movie. I will tell you, I heard it's the biggest rated R movie opening of all time. Like, it's setting all kinds of records. There must be a ton of people that like it, but I didn't like it. I liked the first Deadpool a lot, because it was funny. It was not superhero-y. I'm not a superhero-y guy. This one was full on superhero mode. You have to like the different dimensions and all. Like, I just couldn't wrap my mind. It just too Then all the stuff that Ryan Reynolds said as Deadpool was really funny, but all the other stuff that you had to understand to get the movie, over my head. Didn't like it.
That's true, because in Deadpool 1, because in anticipation of actually thinking I was going to see this movie, instead I again saw Twister, but I watched them again, and the first one was different than the second one. It was just a completely different vibe. It's like the first Deadpool was like, this is so outrageous that the odds of actually making more than one is slim, and then it became such a success that they had to put it in the formula machine. Because I noticed by the second Deadpool, it was a little more of a formula than the first one.
Oh, so was there a second one in between?
Yes, there is.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I've only seen the first one. I didn't even know there was one in between this and the Wolverine one. True story. So that might have been part of the reason I didn't understand half of it either.
Sean, you have to watch the second one. Well, I know, because I'm
done with Deadpool. I'm done with Avengers movies. I gave it my best shot.
Well, I will say the first one, how it ends, picks right back up into the second movie. And so I do think you should watch the second one. But if the third one wasn't your thing, then that's fine. But can I switch back to the movie that I saw? Because Sean and I are apparently losers who only watch movies. But the Twisters movie, the reason why I say don't bring Boone, and I'm glad I didn't bring Murphy, is because the body count, back in 1994, we didn't have to see so much graphic. And I don't want to say it was graphic, because there was nothing that was like guts and ridiculousness, but the body count was high on Twister. Now, on the original Twister, you had like one, it was the dad in the beginning and he got sucked away, and now you watch it and it looks so fake.
And the cow.
But I mean, human wise, you have one casualty in the entire film. And I remember that being a mind fuck. This one, it's like, this person sucked up. I mean, like, everyone just gets fucking sucked up into this thing. It's out of control. It's kind of like, it's like they went a little bit too far Sharknado, where it was getting ridiculous, where I'm like, does everybody get sucked up by one of these things? Because just leave Oklahoma. And there you go. You won't. But it was great. 5 stars. Sean, I think you would love it.
Well, I'm going to check it out for sure. I just got to wait for it to come to my TV, because I don't want to sit next to anybody in the movie theater. And that was comfortable watching my Deadpool movie at my house last night. As a matter of fact, 3/4 of the way through last night, I gave up. And I thought the rest of the family in my mind, because normally, like, if I don't like it, the rest of the family kind of follows along and they don't like it either. And so 3/4 of the way through, I was just like, dude,
John was sitting alone, still waiting.
I'm getting up. It's at this point 9:30, and we normally go to bed at like between 8:30 and 9. We're early bed goers, and it's 9:30 on a Sunday, and it's only 3/4 over. And so I'm thinking, all right, everybody's going to follow along. They're going to go to bed. The kids can finish it tomorrow if they want. Shannon doesn't. And they were like, no, we're into it. We want to watch it. So I got up, and for the other
Especially
20 minutes,
Boone was like, this shit is off the hook.
No, I made Boone come with me, and he was pissed because he had followed along with the story. He kept saying, I can't believe they did that. And Shannon was like, iPad, watch your iPad.
Oh, Shannon, it's so true. I've done these things myself before. Well, I'm excited to see that movie, and I want to know what secret magic illegal shit you're running in your basement where you're getting these movies.
It's some sort of, it's weird. It's you get every channel in America. I can literally watch, if I want to watch the news in Mobile, Alabama, I can pull it up. I have every channel that exists on TV. I have every movie on every streaming service. And like I said, sometimes they come early and they come from the theaters.
I know other people who have this, and it's called like jailbreak cable, or what is it?
Yeah, you have to jailbreak your the Fire Stick, because it runs off of a Fire Stick that you plug in the back of your TV. So you do have to like type in this weird like coder code, and then it jailbreaks the Fire Stick so you can install this program on it. Then you install the program, and it's like,
so are you able to get the movies?
Month.
So are you able to get the movies early because they're already scheduled for a certain time months in the future, and because you broke the code, you're able to get whatever data is on it?
No, it's not. The breaking the code has nothing to do with what movies are on there. That just,
because I'm impressed by you, Sean, right now.
That makes it so you can put like an illegal the reason you break the stick is so that you can put like illegal software on it, and then the software taps into
Oh,
this big server place that this guy has. He tells me it's not illegal. What he tells me is the live TV, the way that it's legal is because there's a slight delay on it. Like if I'm watching the Super Bowl, for instance, I'm going to be 35 or 40 seconds behind everyone else. And
okay.
that's how he makes it legal. Now, I haven't really asked how it's legal that he just like rips off all these movies and I can watch any of them at any time that I want. Like you name any movie that you ever thought of, like the craziest, weirdest shit, underground. I type it in there, I search it, and 99% sure I probably have it.
I remember
Crazy.
one of Sophie's high school friends when they had just started high school told me about this website that you could go to and you could watch movies that were they weren't you couldn't see them in theaters yet. And they were in Chinese. So you had to kind of like follow along what was going on and you had to read subtitles. Some of them didn't even have subtitles and you just really had to guess what was going on. But I remember just feeling like, oh my God, when is the FBI kicking the door in? But this has to be such a regular thing.
Yeah, I think with the advent to the old internet, it's hard to keep anything under wraps. They just hope that there's enough people that don't use it and still pay for the normal thing that
Yeah.
will ignore people like me.
Yeah.
I pay
This
for this, so I feel
oh
like I can't get in trouble because I'm paying for a service. So I'm paying this dude who, if it's illegal, he's the one doing the illegal activity. He's taking my money. I'm paying for a service. I'm not robbing anything. I'm paying for it. So that's why I'm cool talking about it. It's him.
Sean has laid in bed at night at 2 in the morning and gone over this argument over and over in
It's
his
kind of
head
funny though, because I
when
pay
it
for
really
it.
comes down to it.
I only pay for it for situations like last night. We never use it. I got an endorsement, so a sponsorship at the radio station with Comcast.
Mhm.
So I have
Mhm.
normal cable for free, and we normally watch the normal regular cable. And I still every once in a while, like I'll see this come out of my bank account because it's like $30 a month for this service. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, but what happens if I'm sitting at home on a Sunday night and we want to see Deadpool and not go to the movie theater? And
I
so
would think
it's
that's
worth
worth
it. I
it.
keep it.
No, I think that's worth it because if you add up how much tickets cost for a family of 5 to go to a movie theater, and then you add on all the stuff that's extra, I mean, $30 a month, that's like a really good deal. If you'd like to know more about this illegal activity, reach out to Sean, not myself. I don't have it. I wish I did, but I do not. I have not taken the leap into that yet. But I wanted to tell you, I saw you were talking just the other day, was it yesterday, on another episode about your top 3 movies you were wanting to see, and I saw one of your top 3, and I think you'll like it.
Well, if you're into superheroes and Avengers and Marvel and X-Men and all of that sort of stuff, you probably will like the Deadpool Wolverine movie. And it sounds like everyone likes it. I'm just not that guy. I'm not the demographic for it. And so I'm not even gonna rate it because I shouldn't have even watched it. Had I known it was like a full-on superhero movie with just a few little specks of
Of
comedy from
Deadpool, what it
Deadpool.
was in the beginning.
Yeah, 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 if it would have been like Deadpool, like just
Mhm.
Deadpool and not the X-Men stuff, would have been fine. But
Yeah.
I can't get into the whole like random the whole thing, like there's these things, I don't even know how to explain them. They're like blurry like doors into different universes and like things pop out of it and the Deadpool and Wolverine can go into it and it takes them to a whole different world. And there are these like blurry little
It's like a
doors that they can walk
multiverse.
through.
Call it like
Yes,
a
multiverse. That's what
multiverse.
it is. Yes.
Yeah, and so you could and to me, I'm like, this is the most brilliant marketing strategy in the world because it's like used to be you made a movie and you'd run out of road with it, like Back to the Future. You went back, you went way back, you went to the future. Where else can you go? You know, now it's like, well, we're just going to jump through this little portal here. And that's going to take us to a world where we can start all over with these people and these characters. And it was just announced that, did you see that? Well, you're not a superhero fan, but Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing another Marvel comic. He's going to be playing a villain. And so I'm like, how's that? He was Iron Man. Now he's going to be Doctor Doom, but it's in a different multiverse. This multiverse situation going to keep Robert Downey Jr. happy for a very long
Yeah.
time.
Good for Robert Downey Jr., bad for me.
Mhm.
Okay.
So can I just say by closing this out, again, thank our show sponsors, Christiana Salon and Spa. Thank you for supporting us, and be sure to stop in there for your 10% off. And we are, once again, we're working with Mile High Canine Rescue, and our friend Casey Zimmerman, he owns Casey's Pest Control Services, because we want to get these dogs adopted out. Each week we have a new pet of the week, and so we have one up right now. Sean, I thought of you. His name's Lil D. His name's Lil D, and
I've
he
been
is
called that once or twice in my life too. No, just
he's
kidding.
a teacup or a chihuahua. Lil D, and it says there are things that Lil D loves, but it also lists like things that Lil D doesn't like. And one of the things he doesn't like is do not wake him up and startle him. Little D does not like that. And I thought Sean needs to adopt Little D. So
Me and
petition
Little
to
D are
start
a lot
that.
alike.
Yeah, so before Sean does this, you better sweep in. If this dog is so cool.
Shannon already told me no little dogs. She won't
Well,
allow it. I had these little min pins when we were much younger, years and years and years and years ago, and Shannon did not like them.
okay, well, if you do want a dog, Sean, you always make these.
Well, I'm just saying you don't have to race me to get Little D. You just have to go get him. Just go.
Okay, Little D, it's on our social media page, and be sure to follow Mile High Canine Rescue. And again, thank you to Casey Zimmerman, Casey's Pest Control Services, for all your pest control needs. That's it. Subscribe. I've seen a jump in subscription, Sean. So
That's
I
good.
think
It's working.
people are starting,
Okay.
to listen.
You better keep saying it.
Goodbye.
I love how we started this episode with a big D and we ended it with a little D. Okay, bye.
That's how it usually works.